Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal suffer major injury blow as midfielder ruled out for considerable spell despite winning all four of their opening matches and consequently sitting top of the Premier League. Arsenal's good fortune has come to an end. Defensive midfielder Mohamed El Nini, who was in action last weekend against Morocco Silva's Fulham, is reportedly set for a considerable spell on the sidelines after picking up a significant injury. That's according to the Athletic's David Ornstein, who claims the Egypt international is facing a prolonged period on the treatment table. This latest injury will serve as a major blow to Mikel Arteta, who has been frequently rotating between the 30-year-old and Thomas Partey. However, with Partey also suffering from a muscle issue, El Nini's latest injury could not have come at a worse time. When it comes to potential stand-ins, Arteta still has young midfielder Albert Sambi Lokonga at his disposal, as well as veteran midfielder and former captain Granit Xhaka. The Gunners' next run of fixtures includes a home tie against Steven Gerrard's struggling Aston Villa and a trip to Old Trafford to face rivals Manchester United before their first group tie in the Europa League against Zurich takes place in Switzerland. Merson says Arteta may have just pulled off a masterstroke at Arsenal. Arsenal legend Paul Merson has praised the absolutely amazing Martin Odegaard on Sky Sports. The Highbury icon reckons Mikel Arteta could have just pulled off a masterstroke in making Odegaard captain. In July, the Gunners confirmed that the 23-year-old had become their new permanent skipper. Odegaard has made a significant impact at Arsenal since his initial loan move from Real Madrid in January 2021. Arsenal subsequently snapped the Norway captain up in the summer of 2021 for a reported £34 million. Odegaard has played 64 games for the Gunners and established himself as one of their most consistent players. His goal contribution tally has been so impressive too. He has 12 goals and 7 assists to his name in red and white. Odegaard has certainly hit the ground running as Arsenal captain. He has helped the team to a 100% win record in the Premier League after 4 games, scoring 3 goals along the way. Merson is delighted with how Odegaard has fared as a skipper so far. It's been a very good start to Martin Odegaard's captaincy at Arsenal, he wrote on Sky Sports. They paid £35 million to Real Madrid for him. That's hardly anything. The Premier League takes time to get used to, and it would have been a kick in the teeth for him to get released by Real Madrid. It's a huge club, and I'm sure he'd have wanted to back there after his loan spell at Arsenal, but Arteta got him back, and now he's showing what a player he is. He's making things happen, and when you do that, turning good play into goals and assists, that's what starts to make people take notice. That's what he's doing, and giving him the captaincy could be a masterstroke. However, you've now got to see what happens when it isn't going as well for the team, and he isn't playing as well himself. Can he keep dragging the team through? At the moment, though, he's doing really well for £35 million, absolutely amazing. Simon Jordan starting to become impressed with Mikel Arteta once again. Simon Jordan has told TalkSport that he's really started to become impressed with Mikel Arteta once again, with Arsenal flying high in the early stages of the Premier League season. The Gunners are the only remaining side to boast a flawless record so far. They have won all 4 games and produced some stunning performances along the way. Of course, their doubters will suggest that they are yet to beat one of the heavyweights, but their results against the likes of Crystal Palace, Leicester and Fulham are impressive when you consider that they have previously had problems against those sides. No one can watch Arsenal and honestly say that they have not made giant strides forward, and it does appear that they will be contenders to feature in the title race this season. Certainly, Jordan believes that his early optimism about Arteta's potential was not misguided, and he shared what may have been the key moment in the Spaniard's tenure. I really have to say, despite some recriminations and some observations about Arteta, his record is beginning to become very impressive, he told TalkSport. And when you look at the analysis of how many games in the first 100 that Arsene Wenger won, and you say it's almost exactly the same as Arteta, and Arsene Wenger was afforded a lot of time and a lot of courtesy and achieved a lot of things, and Arteta appears to be moving back into the role that I originally thought he was in, which is he's got the ability to do this. I think he's been very brave. I think the moment it turned is when he decided to get rid of that pest Aubameyang and get some culture back in that club. Unfortunately, some are not going to believe that Arsenal are making real progress until they have faced the bigger sides. But those critics are burying their heads in the stand if they are denying how impressive Arsenal have been. They can only beat what is in front of them, and unlike every other side in the division, they have done that every time this season. There are going to be setbacks along the way, but it certainly has the potential to be an incredibly exciting time for Arsenal. Former Gunner reveals why he believes Saka is struggling. Kevin Campbell believes Bukayo Saka is struggling right now because Ben White is not an offensive fullback. Arsenal has been in superb form in this campaign as they have won their opening 4 league games of the season. Every part of their team functions well now, and the players all deserve credit for how they have performed so far. However, Saka has not been in blistering form as we accept him to be, and some fans would be worried. Most of Arsenal's play happens on the left-hand side, where Alexander Zinchenko, Granit Xhaka and Gabriel Martinelli play. This has been Arsenal's most productive wing so far, and Campbell explains why they don't find that much joy on the right. He tells Football Insider, "I just think that things are happening on the left-hand side solely because of Granit Xhaka and Zinchenko. Sometimes one releases the other. You don't have that on the other side with the way that Martin Odegaard plays. We know what Saka can do, but Ben White has been deputizing as a fullback and has done a really good job, but he's not an offensive fullback. He will be one that sits there. One good thing Arsenal has done so far is not to rely on Saka as we have done in the previous season. This had freed the Englishman from pressure. However, he's not as involved in our matches as he should be. The attacker can do more. He and White probably need to spend more time on the training ground working together." Arsenal man took a £2.5 million pay cut to leave the club. Nicolas Pepe has just left Arsenal to join Nice on loan after falling down the pecking order at the Emirates. The winger struggled to show his best form at the home of the Gunners and they wanted to offload him. Nice is one of a few clubs that was prepared to take a chance on him, and now he will spend this campaign with them. The winger was one of Arsenal's highest earners when he moved to the Emirates, so it was hard for the Gunners to find a suitor that will pay all his wages. The Athletic says he agreed to take a pay cut to move back to League One. Nice pay 50% of his salary, Arsenal pays 25%, and he has forgone the other 25% to make the move happen. This is a desperate bid from the Ivorian to play regularly again after his struggles at the Emirates. Pundit insists Arsenal target will flourish at the Emirates. Alan Hutton is convinced that Yuri Tielemans will do well at Arsenal if he moves to the Emirates. Reports have linked the midfielder with a move to the Gunners for a long time, and the links are still there with just a few more days to go. The Gunners have remained active in the transfer market, and that is a clear sign they could still make a few more signings. Tielemans has informed Leicester City that he wants to leave and the Foxes are willing to allow him to go. However, it must be at the right price and it remains unclear if Arsenal will pay a good fee for his signature. Tielemans has been in fine form since he moved to Leicester and he will make a step up if he moves to the Emirates. Hutton admits it's hard for anyone to break into the current Arsenal team, but he insists Tielemans will thrive there. He tells Football Insider, "Again, I think he adds quality. It's not about bringing in another number. I think he makes the team better. He will be a big signing for Arsenal. He will have his eyes on playing week in, week out, and I think he can do that there. No disrespect to Leicester, but he will have better players around him and he can flourish there. He is a fantastic footballer." Considering the club's interest in a move for him, Tielemans is a top player and he will benefit our squad. In these last days of the transfer window, Leicester could reduce their asking price for his signature, and that should make it easy for us to add him to the group. Arsenal could launch shock bid to sign Griezmann. Arsenal could launch a shock bid to sign Atletico Madrid forward Antoine Griezmann, with the Sport reporting that the player wants to play more games before the World Cup. Griezmann signed for Barcelona back in 2019 for a huge fee of £107.6 million. But the French striker has struggled to make an impact at the Camp Nou since making the switch. The 31-year-old was loaned back to Atletico last summer, and the La Liga outfit have extended his loan for this season. but it seems that Simeone's men are reluctant to make the switch permanent once again, and Arsenal could be eyeing a shock move for the player. Sports reports that Griezmann's future at Atletico is unclear at this moment in time, and the player could leave this winter. The France international is desperate to play more games, especially with the World Cup just around the corner. Sport notes that if Griezmann plays more than 30 minutes in at least half of Atletico's games this season, the La Liga club will have to buy the player for around £34.1 million, but Simeone's men are not currently in a position to part with such a fee, and Arsenal are one of the teams who could make a move for the player if he becomes available. The Gunners are apparently aware of his situation and could move to sign him in December. Mikel Arteta's chances of landing Griezmann are said to be boosted by his side's flawless start in the Premier League this season. Griezmann has got off to a brilliant start to the current campaign for Atleti, as he's bagged 2 goals in 3 games. The Frenchman endured a difficult period at Barca, but seems to have rediscovered his goal-scoring touch this season. There is no doubt that Griezmann is still a top-quality player, but the move doesn't seem to fit the current transfer model at Arsenal. The Gunners have been targeting youngster players as Arteta continues to build a promising side in North London. At 31, Griezmann is coming towards the end of his prime years and doesn't seem fit the profile of player that Arsenal have targeted in recent times. Arsenal target Neto alternative Wilfried Zaha. Arsenal's move for Wolves' Pedro Neto is looking bleak as the Midlands club are reluctant to sell the winger this late in the window. The 22-year-old has been linked to the Gunners recently, as Mikel Arteta seeks to bring in another wide player following the departure of Nicolas Pepe to Nice. Should Arsenal fail to lure Neto away from Wolves, the London club could then move for Crystal Palace Wilfried Zaha, reports Miguel Delaney, writing in his latest exclusive column for Count Offside. Fabrizio Romano says that Arteta and technical director Edu will be active before the window closes, though it's not yet entirely clear who they will be set to bring in. Zaha has just 1 year left on his Crystal Palace contract, and it seems likely that he will leave Selhurst Park soon, which has been a long time coming. According to the independent Delaney, Chelsea are also interested in Zaha as Thomas Tuchel seeks to sharpen their attack in the final days of the window. The Blues are yet to replace Romelu Lukaku in their squad and have been heavily linked with Barcelona's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in recent weeks. Should that move fail to materialize, Zaha could be the next on that list, as the Palace star can play as a striker as well as a winger, which will be an attractive prospect for Tuchel. Where Zaha will be in the aftermath of deadline day is unknown, as Chelsea and Arsenal could be ready to make their moves very soon. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.